Picture this. I'm standing at the edge of a memory, not quite sure if I'm looking back or stepping forward. My name is Vivian, and at 69, I've got more yesterdays than tomorrows, but I'm not counting. I've been married to Caleb for over 4 decades, 43 years to be exact, though who's keeping track of the extra months and days? Caleb, my rock, my steady hand, is in his early 70s now, still carrying that quiet charm that drew me in all those years ago. He's got a way about him, a calm that fills a room without ever trying to. Even now, he's knee-deep in his career, still sought after in professional circles, which is why we're here in this sprawling, restless city for a 2-day conference where he's a guest speaker. Me? I'm just along for the ride, itching to soak up the electric hum of urban life, something so different from the quiet rhythm of our small-town days. Caleb and I, we've got our routines down to an art form. Mornings with coffee in mismatched mugs, evenings with the same old shows flickering on the TV. Comfortable, predictable, like a well-worn pair of shoes. But sometimes, in the quiet moments, I catch myself wondering if there's something more, something I've missed along the way. Not that I'd ever say it out loud, not to Caleb, not to anyone. He's too good, too steady, and I'm too grateful for the life we've built. Still, being here, in this city that never seems to sleep, it's stirring something in me. A curiosity, maybe. A restlessness I can't quite name. I remember meeting one of Caleb's colleagues, Trent, at a couple of events over the years. Nice enough guy, though I don't know much about him beyond a handshake and a polite nod. He's probably around somewhere at this conference, but my mind's not on networking or small talk right now. It's on what this city might have in store for me. We're staying at this hotel that feels like it belongs in a sci-fi movie, all sleek lines and cold elegance. The walls are mirrored, reflecting everything in a dizzying shimmer, my own face staring back at me, multiplied 100 times over as I walk through the lobby. It's disorienting, like I'm caught in some kind of funhouse. Except there's nothing fun about the way the dim corridor lights stretch shadows across the polished floors. Everything here gleams, from the chrome fixtures to the glass tabletops, but there's no warmth to it. It's a far cry from the cozy clutter of our home, where every nick and scratch on the furniture tells a story. Here, I feel a little out of place, like a visitor in someone else's world. My sensible shoes click too loudly on the marble, and I catch myself smoothing my cardigan as if that'll make me blend in with the sharp-dressed crowd milling around. I shake off the feeling and make my way to the elevator, my mind drifting as I press the button for our floor. The doors slide shut with a soft hiss, sealing me inside this small, mirrored box. The faint hum of generic instrumental music plays overhead, the kind of tune that's meant to soothe but just feels hollow in the confined space. I catch my reflection in the polished walls, my graying hair pulled back neatly, the lines on my face telling stories of laughter and worry, my eyes searching for something I can't quite name. I'm lost in thought, staring at myself multiplied endlessly in the mirrors when the elevator jolts to a stop on the 14th floor. The doors open, and in steps Trent. I recognize him instantly, though it's been a while since I last saw him at one of Caleb's events. He's in his mid-50s, impeccably dressed in a tailored suit that fits him like it was made just this morning. His sharp features, high cheekbones, a jawline that could cut glass, stand out even more under the harsh elevator lighting. But it's his eyes that catch me off guard, piercing and intense, like they're peeling back layers I didn't even know I had. His presence fills the space, magnetic in a way that's almost too bold, too much for this tiny elevator. I tell myself I'm overthinking it, that I'm just not used to being around someone with such a commanding air. But there's a prickle at the back of my neck I can't ignore.
Vivian, isn't it?
Caleb's wife, he says, his voice smooth as polished stone, with just a hint of something playful, maybe flirtatious, beneath the surface. I manage a nervous smile, nodding as I shift my weight from one foot to the other. That's right. Good to see you, Trent. My words come out quieter than I mean them to, almost swallowed by the hum of the elevator. With just the two of us in here, the space feels smaller, tighter, like the walls are pressing in. I glance at the mirrors again, and there we are, reflected over and over, me, looking a little too stiff, and Trent, standing with an ease that makes me feel even more out of place. It's surreal, like we're being watched from every angle by versions of ourselves. We make small talk to fill the silence. He asks about the conference, if I've been enjoying the city. I answer in short bursts, mentioning a little cafe I found near the hotel, the way the streets buzz with life at all hours. He nods, smiles, but there's something in his tone, an undercurrent I can't quite pin down. It's not just friendliness, it's heavier, like he's saying one thing but meaning another. I try to focus on the conversation, but I'm hyper-aware of the little details now. The way he stands just a fraction too close, even though there's plenty of room in here. As Trent's voice lingers in the air, I notice a shift in him, subtle at first, like a cloud passing over the sun. That playful edge in his tone hardens into something more intense, more deliberate. He steps closer, closing the already tight space between us, and I can feel the heat radiating from him in this confined, mirrored box. His voice drops lower, almost a whisper now, as if the walls themselves might overhear. My heart starts to thud louder, echoing in my ears over the faint hum of the elevator. I'm caught in this strange pull, hyper-aware of every inch between us, of the way his gaze locks onto mine with an intensity that makes my skin prickle. Then he makes a move that stops my breath. His fingers brush against my arm, a light touch at first, almost accidental, but then they linger, tracing a slow path up to my neck. It's invasive, bold in a way that should make me recoil, and yet there's an electric charge to it that roots me to the spot. My mind fractures in that moment, splintering into 1,000 conflicting thoughts. I should pull away, should slap his hand and tell him to back off, to remember who I am, who I'm married to. But there's another part of me, buried deep beneath decades of loyalty and routine, that stirs awake, a part that's curious, that feels a thrill I haven't known in years. My chest tightens with guilt, with shock at my own reaction, but I can't deny the heat creeping up my spine, the way my pulse races not just from fear, but from something I'm ashamed to name. Before I can sort through the chaos in my head, the elevator lurches violently, a harsh jolt that throws me off balance. I stumble slightly, my hand reaching for the wall as the car grinds to a stop between floors. The sudden silence is deafening, the generic music cutting off mid-note. I look at the panel, the numbers frozen, no indication of what's happening. A mechanical glitch, maybe, or something more deliberate I can't tell. My eyes dart to Trent, and without a flicker of hesitation, he reaches past me and presses the emergency stop button. The click echoes in the stillness, sealing us in this glass cage. My stomach drops, not just from the halted elevator, but from the realization that we're truly trapped now, cut off from the world outside. What happens next, I can barely bring myself to say, but it's a moment that shatters everything I thought I knew about myself. In a haze of impulse, of forbidden desire that I didn't even know I was capable of, I give in. I let Trent close the distance completely, let his touch become more than a brush, more than a suggestion. The artificial light glints off the mirrors, casting sharp, fragmented reflections of us from every angle, like a kaleidoscope of betrayal. I can hear the uneven rhythm of our breathing, the only sound in this suspended space, and it feels like time itself has stopped, like nothing exists beyond these walls. His hands are firm, confident, and I'm lost in the sensation, the warmth of his skin, the scent of his cologne mixing with the sterile air of the elevator. It's not just physical, it's a rebellion, a defiance against the quiet, predictable life I've lived for so long. In this mirrored box, nowhere else matters, nothing else is real. I'm not Vivian, Caleb's wife of 43 years. I'm someone else, someone reckless, someone free. But the moment passes, and reality crashes back in like a tidal wave. As I pull away, my breath ragged, I catch sight of myself in the mirrors, hundreds of versions of me staring back, eyes wide with a mix of exhilaration and dread. I barely recognize the woman I see, her flushed cheeks, her disheveled hair slipping from its neat bun. My hands tremble as I smooth my cardigan, as if that could erase what just happened. Trent, though, he's calm, almost smug, leaning back against the wall with a faint smirk, like he knew all along this was inevitable. His composure unnerves me more than anything, makes me question if The elevator finally shudders back to life, the mechanical hum returning like a reluctant heartbeat. My chest is still tight, my mind a tangled mess of guilt and confusion as the doors prepare to open. I can't look at Trent now. Can't bear to see that knowing smirk reflected in the mirrors surrounding us. I focus on the panel instead, watching the numbers tick down, each floor passing like a countdown to something I'm not ready to face. My hands fidget with the edge of my cardigan, trying to pull myself together, but I know it's no use. The evidence is written all over me, my flushed cheeks, the stray strands of hair that refuse to stay tucked away. The way my breath still hasn't quite steadied. I feel like a stranger in my own skin, like I've stepped out of my life and into someone else's, someone I don't even recognize. The doors slide open with a soft ding, revealing the lobby floor, and there he is, Caleb. My heart stops for a moment, a cold wave of dread washing over me. He's standing just a few feet away, as if he's been waiting for me all this time. Tall, slightly stooped with age, but still carrying that quiet authority that's always defined him. He looks exactly as he did this morning when we parted ways for his conference session. His gray suit is impeccably pressed, his tie a muted blue that I picked out for him years ago. But it's his eyes that hit me hardest, those familiar hazel eyes that have seen me through every joy and sorrow of the past 43 years. They meet mine for a fleeting second, then flicker to Trent standing just behind me, and I feel my stomach drop like I've stepped off a cliff. I can't move, can't speak. My face burns hotter, the flush deepening under his gaze, and I know he must see it, the disarray of my appearance, the way my hands tremble as I clutch my purse a little too tightly. I try to meet his eyes, to hold his stare, but I can't. My gaze drops to the polished marble floor, tracing the veins in the stone as if they might offer some kind of escape. Beside me, Trent steps out of the elevator with a casual ease that makes my skin crawl. He offers Caleb a nod, a simple, almost dismissive gesture, as if nothing in the world is amiss, as if the air between us isn't thick with secrets. "Caleb," he says, his voice smooth and untroubled, before striding off toward the lobby bar without a backward glance. I'm left standing there, rooted to the spot, feeling the weight of Caleb's presence like a physical force. "Now I know who pressed stop," Caleb says, his voice steady and resolute, cutting through the hum of the lobby like a blade. I freeze, every muscle in my body locking up as his words sink in. I'm waiting for the anger, the betrayal, the hurt to pour out of him, emotions I know I deserve. I brace myself for the storm, for the accusations that should follow. But they don't come. Instead, there's something else in his tone, something I can't quite place. It's not rage or pain, but a quiet intensity, a weight that makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up. I risk a glance at him, searching his face for clues, but his expression is unreadable, a mask of calm that only deepens my unease. The lobby around us buzzes with oblivious activity. Hotel guests dragging suitcases, a concierge chatting on the phone, the faint clink of glasses from the bar where Trent disappeared. They're all blind to the silent storm brewing between us, to the way the air seems to crackle with unspoken words. My mind races, a whirlwind of questions and fears. Does he know? How could he know? Did someone see us through some hidden camera, some crack in the illusion of privacy? Or is it just the way I look right now, the guilt painted across my face in shades of red and shame? I feel the urge to confess, to spill everything right here in the middle of this cold, gleaming lobby, to let the weight of it all come crashing down. I stand there, my heart hammering so loud I'm sure Caleb can hear it over the distant chatter of the lobby. His words, "Now I know who pressed stop," hang in the air like a guillotine blade, poised to fall. I'm still grappling with the shock of them when he looks me dead in the eye, his gaze piercing through every layer of defense I've tried to build in the last few minutes. Then he speaks again, his voice low and deliberate, each word landing like a stone in still water. "Next time, it's my turn. You're in the elevator and I'm there, watching you." I'm stunned, my breath catching in my throat, as if the air itself has turned solid. My mind scrambles to process what he's just said, to make sense of the implications woven into those words. It's not just that he knows, or at least suspects, what happened in that mirrored cage. It's the way he says it, with a calm that's more chilling than any outburst of anger could ever be. There's no trace of rage in his tone, no hurt or betrayal, just a cold, unyielding determination that sends a shiver down my spine. It's as if he's not condemning me, but proposing something, a game, a twisted new chapter in the story of us. A challenge, maybe, or a dare. I can't tell if he's punishing me or inviting me into some dark corner of his own mind I've never seen before. The weight of it presses down on me, heavy and suffocating, like I'm trapped in that elevator all over again, only this time it's Caleb's eyes holding me captive instead of mirrored walls. I'm reeling, caught in a storm of emotions I can't name. Horror grips me first, clawing at my chest as I realize the depth of what he might know, the betrayal he might have pieced together from my flushed face and trembling hands. But there's something else, too. A strange, unwelcome fascination that creeps in at the edges of my panic. How could he say something like that? Is this a test? Some cruel way to see if I'll confess or crumble under the pressure? Or is it a punishment? a calculated move to make me feel the same vulnerability I've inflicted on him. Worse still, what if this is something he's wanted all along? Something buried beneath the steady, predictable surface of our 43 years together. The thought makes my stomach twist, a mix of dread and curiosity I'm ashamed to even acknowledge. I search his face for answers, desperate for a crack in that unreadable mask, a hint of what's really behind those hazel eyes. But there's nothing, just that same quiet intensity, a wall I can't scale or break through. The lobby around us fades into a blur, the clatter of suitcases and murmur of voices dissolving until it's just the two of us, suspended in this moment. Trent is long gone, vanished into the crowd as if he was never here, as if he didn't just turn my world upside down. But Caleb, he's right here, and somehow, that's even more terrifying. This is the peak of it all, the emotional crescendo of a day that's shattered me twice over. First, it was my own betrayal, that reckless, impulsive moment in the elevator that I can't undo, no matter how much I wish I could. I gave in to something I didn't even know I wanted, and the guilt of it still burns under my skin, a scar I'll carry forever. And now this, Caleb's response, a curveball I never saw coming, challenging everything I thought I knew about him, about us. Our marriage, built on decades of trust and routine, feels like it's teetering on the edge of a cliff, and I don't know if we're about to fall into ruin or land somewhere entirely new. I feel exposed, raw, like every secret I've ever kept is laid bare under his steady gaze. Vulnerable doesn't even begin to cover it. I'm stripped down to the bone, every nerve on edge, waiting for the next blow. And yet, beneath the fear and the shame, there's a strange, electric pulse, a feeling of being alive in a world. I'm standing in the lobby now, alone, the hum of the city outside seeping through the glass doors like a distant heartbeat. Caleb walked away after his words cut through me, leaving me rooted to the spot for what felt like an eternity before I could even think to move. My legs felt like lead, but somehow I've made it to one of the sleek, modern couches tucked into a corner of this cold, polished space. I sink into the cushions, the leather cool against my skin, and let my gaze drift over the stream of people coming and going. Businessmen with briefcases, tourists with wide-eyed wonder, hotel staff gliding through the chaos with practiced ease. They're all so oblivious to the storm still raging inside me, to the way my world tilted on its axis just minutes ago. I can still hear Caleb's voice, low and deliberate, echoing in my mind like a record stuck on repeat. Next time, it's my turn. What did he mean by that? I can't shake it, can't stop turning it over and over, examining every syllable for hidden meaning. I lean back, my hands resting in my lap, fingers twisting together as I try to make sense of everything that's happened today. That moment in the elevator with Trent, it feels like a lifetime ago, yet the memory is so sharp, so vivid, it could have been seconds. I can still feel the heat of his touch, the way my heart raced with a mix of fear and something else, something forbidden that I hadn't felt in decades. I betrayed Caleb in a way I never thought I was capable of, broke a trust that's held us together for 43 years. I expected to drown in guilt after, to be crushed under the weight of what I'd done. And yes, there's a part of me that aches with shame, that flinches every time I picture Caleb's face as he stood there, seeing right through me. But there's another part, a quieter, more dangerous part that doesn't regret it. I liked it. I liked the rush, the recklessness, the feeling of stepping outside the neat, predictable lines of my life. At 69 years old, I didn't think I had it in me to feel that kind of fire again. But I did, and I don't hate myself for it. There's a strange kind of freedom in admitting that, in letting go of the guilt I thought would consume me. It's like I've shed a skin I didn't even know I was wearing, stepped into a version of Vivian I've never met before. I watch a young couple hurry past, laughing as they drag their luggage toward the check-in desk, and I wonder what they'd think if they knew the thoughts swirling in my head. Would they see me as just another gray-haired woman, past her prime, sitting quietly in a hotel lobby? Or would they sense the shift, the way I feel like I'm vibrating with a new kind of energy, like I've woken up after a long, long sleep? I cross my legs, smoothing my cardigan over my knees, and let out a slow breath. The betrayal felt so raw, so real in those mirrored walls, like I was watching myself become someone else. And then Caleb's reaction, those words, that look in his eyes, threw everything into even sharper chaos. I expected anger, maybe even heartbreak, but not whatever that was. A challenge? A promise? A glimpse into a side of him I've never seen? It's unnerving, but it's also lit something in me, a curiosity I can't ignore. I keep replaying his words, trying to decide if he meant them literally or if they were some kind of metaphor for taking back control, for rewriting the rules of our marriage after what he must suspect I've done. Did he mean he wants to be there, to see me in that kind of moment again? Or was he speaking to something deeper, something about power and trust and the unspoken things we've let build up over the years? I don't know, and honestly, I'm not sure it matters. What matters is the possibility, the idea of pushing boundaries we've never dared to cross before. Our life together has been safe, steady, but now, as we stand on the brink of change, I feel a thrill of excitement at the thought of discovering what lies beyond the familiar. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment if you enjoyed this story. This will help us create more engaging stories for you.